Okay, let's go.
All right, let's dive right into the core lessons from The Disciplined Trader. Now, this is a book that's less about fancy market strategies and much more about winning the mental war that's raging inside your own head every single time you place a trade. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it. You see, the core idea is that your biggest challenge isn't going to be figuring out the market's next move. It's understanding and, more importantly, controlling your own mind. So, let's tackle a question that probably sounds painfully familiar to a lot of you. I mean, you've been there, right? The analysis is perfect, the setup looks textbook, you pull the trigger and bam, the trade goes south. So what gives? What's really happening here?
Okay, so the journey to an answer starts right here, with this one big idea. Forget about mastering charts and indicators for a second. Real success in trading, it comes from mastering yourself.
Let's kick things off with a scenario that's, well, it's probably going to hit a little too close to home. You've got your plan, it's solid, you've done the research, but the second you're in the trade, boom, panic sets in. And all of a sudden, a tiny little tick against you feels like a total catastrophe, right? Your confidence just evaporates. So what's going on here? Well, what's really happening is that you're hitting an invisible wall. And this wall, it's built out of everything. Your past wins and losses, your deepest fears, even stuff you learned as a kid, like never quit. And that wall, it's silently wrecking your trades, even when your strategy is spot on. Okay, so if our own beliefs are the problem, what's the trigger? It almost always boils down to one huge mental mistake. We try to find certainty where it just doesn't exist. The market is fundamentally, completely uncertain. And this means you need a total shift in how you see things. Think about it like a coin toss, right? You have no idea what the next flip will be. But you know that if you flip it 1,000 times, it's going to be pretty close to 50-50. The market is exactly like that. It's all about probabilities, not guarantees. And this brings us to the two mindsets you can have. First, there's the player's mindset. This is the amateur, riding an emotional roller coaster with every single trade. Their ego is all wrapped up in being right. But then, there's the casino's mindset. This is the pro. The pro thinks like the house. They couldn't care less about any one hand of blackjack because they know their small statistical edge will make them money over the long haul. That's the real game. So here's the big mental flip you have to make. Stop trying to be right. Just stop. Your new goal is to simply manage whatever happens. Whatever the market throws at you, you handle it. That right there is where your real power comes from. But, why is this so hard? Why can't we just accept uncertainty? Well, it's because we're all looking at the market through these invisible filters. And these filters change everything we see. And most of the time, we don't even know they're there. I mean, think about this for a second. You can have two traders staring at the exact same chart at the exact same moment. One of them sees a screaming buy signal, and the other is absolutely certain it's time to sell. How is that even possible? It's because of those filters, their past trades, their fears, their hopes. It's all coloring what they perceive as reality. And this is where a super dangerous mental trap comes into play, selective perception. Basically, your brain is desperate for certainty, so it grabs onto any piece of evidence that confirms what you want to believe. And all that other information, the stuff that says you might be wrong, your brain just ignores it. It's a recipe for disaster.
So the first step towards breaking free is to actually recognize and challenge these beliefs. Take that old saying, never give up. That's great for sports, but in trading, it's poison. You have to reframe it. You have to realize that taking a small planned loss isn't you failing. It's a smart business decision. It's just part of the job. All right, so we've spent some time diagnosing the problem. Now let's talk about the cure. Let's get into some actual practical rules for completely rebuilding your mindset from the ground up. Okay, this is huge. One of the biggest traps is setting outcome-driven goals, like, I'm going to make $100 today. The problem? You have zero control over that. The market's going to do what it's going to do. The solution is to switch to process-driven goals. Your goal becomes, I will follow my rules on every single trade. You see the difference? That you can control. And that's what leads to calm, consistent improvement. And when you put all these steps together, you get a powerful, repeatable framework. This is literally the path to building that rock-solid discipline that separates the pros from the amateurs. Just keep reminding yourself, the goal isn't to be right, the goal is to be disciplined. And let's be super clear about what discipline really is. It's not about following your rules when everything is going your way. That's easy.
Real discipline is when you're in a losing trade, your stomach is in knots, and every fiber of your being is screaming at you to just move your stop loss, just this once. Honoring your plan in that moment, that's the whole game.
All right, let's tie all of this together. What does this big transformation actually look like in the real world? How do you become that person, that trader who operates with the cool, detached mindset of the casino?
Well, the end goal is simple. You have to become the casino. It's about truly internalizing that probabilistic mindset. You stop thinking about this one trade and you start thinking in terms of the next 100 trades, the next 1,000 trades. You get off the emotional roller coaster for good.
So when you look at these traits, operating from probabilities, being detached from outcomes, seeing losses as just a business expense, notice something really important. Every single one of these is an internal skill. This isn't about a new indicator or a secret strategy you can buy. These are things you have to build, brick by brick, inside your own mind. Look, if you forget everything else we talked about today, just remember this one thing. To really, truly succeed in trading, you only have to master one thing. Not the market, yourself. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The market is just a mirror. It's reflecting your own psychology right back at you. And the only victory that actually matters, the one that leads to lasting success, is mastering yourself. So the real question you have to ask is, are you out here trying to conquer the market, or are you ready to conquer yourself?